Hi guys, it's me. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm excited to be bringing you some parts that came in for my car. This is a very big box, very heavy. Look at this thing. It's taller than I am, right? But it's kind of anticlimactic. Very big box, very small parts. Well, relatively small parts. But today, we're gonna unbox these together. So first, let me get the boxes out of the boxes, I think. Because I have a feeling there are boxes in here too, because these things are not that big. I did open this part already. So look at that, there's like nothing down in there. Paper. Oh, there they are. Oh, I got them. This is more like it. So, what could these little guys be? Well, we hear some screws clanking and janking and moving around, so let's figure it out. It says Lumen, and these LED light bars. That's right, that's what these guys are. So it comes in this nice little cardboard box. There's no tape, which I guess since that one was taped up, it's not as important for this one to be taped up. We're gonna go ahead. I feel like I'm opening the Ark of the Covenant here on this little thing. And pop this guy open. Oh, so right away we got another little box. I'll put that here. Oh, let me take some of my coffee. Good stuff. We have the light bar itself, which I'll save for last. And we also have another little box. So I'm guessing this is the hardware, I'm guessing. And then this guy is actually the lenses. So you get multiple different colored lenses with these guys, which is one reason I ordered them, because I figured that it was going to be cool. Like, so you got your yellow, which I'm never going to use, but you also got clear and like blue and stuff like that to change the color temperature of your lights, which can be useful depending on your situation. But last and certainly not least, we have this guy here, the main attraction of the event. And I got two of these. They're both the same. So we'll take her out of her bag here. And this guy is the bar. Now, there's a black protective thing over this. That's pretty neat. So they shipped it with the black coating, the black plate already on it, I guess, to protect it during shipping. How do I get the... There's little screws here, I guess. As you can see, there's these little knobs, and I guess you turn it. Take it off. There we go. So we slide it off, and this is the bar itself. This guy here is just a piece of plastic that I guess if you're planning on driving and not using them, or driving over really rocky, rough area where something can come up and hit it, you can put these on. It blocks any light, but it also protects the light bar itself. That's pretty neat. And it's cool that they put that on during shipping. So this is the bar itself. You can see it's got 6 LEDs on it. Nowhere listed is how many lumens this thing puts out, so I'm a little confused on that. I'll have to see how bright they are. I've actually put them on the car. And then we have these red parts. Now, what's not very clear is these red parts are illuminated and they light up. But you can change the color. It comes with a bunch of different actions that I'll show you in a minute, which is another reason that I ordered these. I thought they were really neat, that you could actually pop these out and change the color on them. And this is not too heavy. Like, I can like toss it from hand to hand without really, you know, having a problem. Nice and light, but also they feel heavy duty. That's metal and that's plastic, but everything is metal except this lens part and these end cap. Actually, these are just very hard plastic, but I'm pretty sure they're still plastic. So that's pretty neat. We got our bar, but what's in the other little boxes? So I got this box. This box sounds like it just contains a bunch of screws, but oh no, the illuminated end caps are here. So here's where the illuminated little end pieces are. You get orange ones, and then they, you know, light up. You get just black ones if you don't want them to be lit up. So these are just black. You get green. Then, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. The red ones are already on there. You get your switches for the wiring. They give you two different ones, it looks like, which I kind of saw in the picture. I thought one was something else, but you get this little guy here. It's on and off with your little wiring forks on the back. That's pretty neat. This one, which is something that I'm very much interested in. Looks like the forks are bent a little bit back here. We might have to bend those back. This is the one that I'm very much interested in. So it's a very big switch. It doesn't flip up like in the space shuttle or anything. You can see that, and it just very satisfying, sturdy click. That's probably the one that I'm going to go with. You can flip it up from the bottom, or you can push on it. I don't know how strong it is pulling up from the bottom like that. So this would probably be the best way to go about it. This is probably the one I'm going to use in the car when I wire them in, just because it looks really awesome and it sounds awesome. I'm going to do that. Although these are both going to be in the same place, exactly opposite of each other on the vehicle. So I'm probably just going to wire them to one switch. So I need to have, you know, one switch for the left light and one switch for the right light. Right? Ugh. So I'll probably wire it all to the same one. That's so satisfying. I love doing that. But this is going to go back in here because I don't want to lose it. And here is all of your fun bags of screws, mounting hardware. Comes with spacers too, if you need to space out the mounting hardware, which is nice. This is probably the brackets I'm going to be using. The little brackets here, it's got a hole in it that you put in a light bar, and then it just kind of mounts there. So there's that, and I'll put all this back before I lose it. So that's all our mounting hardware and our switches. Now, I have yet to see the wiring. I'm guessing that's what this is. Okay, so this is all of your wiring. Okay, now I have to decipher this. These guys go to your battery. There's two of them. This looks like the female end of the connector that goes on your light. It does have a rubber gasket here, so it's water resistant. I would still maybe cover it with something. And then we have this guy. Is it a relay? Can someone tell me what this guy is? What is this giant thing? It looks like a relay with a prong sticking out the end of it. Maybe that's for your, that's probably for your switch. I'm thinking your switch hooks there, and then this is like an on-off thing, something like that. I'm not an electrician. I know enough to wire these into the car, but I'm not really an electrician. This is your wiring. So again, really thick stuff. 105 degrees Celsius it looks like is the max temperature. It's wrapped in this really slick, shiny PVC wire insulation, extruded, non-heat shrinkable PVC tubing. So for anybody out there that's into electronics, if that means anything, now you know. And I have to say, all this was packaged pretty well. I'm impressed with that. But now let's go on with these, because these guys, I think, are going to be pretty cool. So, right away we have just your standard white see-through, and you can kind of see, I actually have an LED light here. I know it's got a diffuser on it, but you can see this is the color your light's going to be when you have this lens on. So we've got that. White, that's kind of boring, right? That's probably not the one that I'm going to use. We have red. Red is going to emit something. Well, that doesn't help, does it? You really can't see. Well, you kind of can see. Like a reddish orange light. You can kind of see the glow coming off of it. That helps right there. So you can see that. That's going to be like a reddish orange. Not what I'm looking for. we have the one I am looking for, which is this guy. So this guy isn't going to be pure blue. It's actually going to emit a very cold white light, like that, see? And that's what I'm going for. Something that's very, very like pale blue, like a very cold light. I believe this is a 7400K. So I think what this gives you. I'm not sure. We have orange and we have yellow. So you can see the yellow is going to give you a yellow, and the orange is going to give you like a very, very, very yellowish orange. Orange would match my theme. I'll be using this one at car meets and stuff, like if I do that. But this is really the only time I would use the orange one. But very good lenses. This one is going to come in very handy. These, you can see this texture here. There you go, you can kind of see. And what that does is the light kind of bounces off all these ridges and it kind of diffuses it, so it's not as harsh. So the same thing as this light. It's got a little filter thingaroony on it. And that does the same thing. I could take it off and it would be just bare light, but that would be kind of harsh on, it would cast more shadows. So that's kind of a filmmaking thing. The reason you don't see shadows across my face and stuff is because this is on it. It kind of helps to dissipate those shadows. And that's kind of what this does. Less shadows, less harsh light. It diffuses it. And that's what it's called. It's like a diffuser. Very nice. And on top of that, you got your black one, which also for some reason has this texture. I guess they just use the same mold. But this protects it in storage and if you're not going to be using it for long periods of time. So those are all very nice and very important in my opinion, because they even give you a clear one, so even when you are using it, you can have one on the light, and then if something flies up and hits it, it doesn't damage your light, it just damages this little thing, which is a lot cheaper than your light. So people are asking me, well, why light bars when you don't have an off-road car? Well, I decided to go with some light bars. I'm doing them on the hood, actually, is where they're going to go. And I will put a quick picture up of that here, and here, and there. And so, as you can see, a lot of the WRC cars and rallycross cars put their light bars on their hood. And since this car will be competing in American Rally Association and Lone Star Rallycross Championship events, I decided that since some of the stages do take place at night, it would be a good idea to have some visibility for nighttime stage rallying. So that would kind of give a sense of security. Of course, I wouldn't be using them during the daytime events. Actually, most cars don't even have them on the vehicle on daytime events, just because of the fact that, one, it has weight, and two, if the car were to wreck, it would be an unnecessary loss if those light bars got crushed, right? But that's just why I chose to go with these light bars. As far as pricing on these, I paid just under $200 for both of these, including shipping and handling, and tax. So I think before tax it came out to $165 with shipping and handling and tax and all sorts of other stuff. I think shipping was $11 or $12, which is really good because these were heavy. They came in that giant box and they arrived within 3 or 4 days of me ordering them. So pretty fast shipping, pretty fast response. Very happy with that. So what are the specs on these? Well, I'm here on the website because I did not memorize these. This is a single row. They're LED, if I didn't mention before. I believe I did when I held them up. These are LED, and they're pretty obvious they're LEDs. They're supposed to last up to 50,000 hours of operation, which means you really never have to change them. And in the point in time that one would burn out, you could just get another one because you've gotten your money's worth out of them anyways. The color temperature is anywhere from 6,500 to 7,500 K. That's relatively cold. For example, this is pure white light that I have on here, and these are running at max. I believe they're at 5,800. So these still don't come close to that. So they're very bright white lights. They're supposed to be very pure white. They're supposed to be very harsh. They're supposed to project very far. That's really the only information they give you. It does say that it's back with a 5-year warranty. Now, my warranty may or may not be void. It says it does not apply to any products that have been subject to misuse, mishandling, misapplication, neglect, improper installation, or alterations. I don't know if they... Sorry. I don't know if they interpret stage rallying as misuse. I don't know if these were intended for heavy-duty use like that. But I bought the spot beams, very tight, very far projecting. These are spotlights basically. They are on a very small spot, but they project very far and they're very bright. You can also get this exact same one in combination, so it's a combination of flood and spot. So there's a little diagram here. It won't even let me save the image. I'll have to take a picture the hard way. Anyway, as you can see on the diagram here, there's a flood beam, a combo beam, and a spot beam. So I got the spot, so it's going to project kind of wide for the first, I don't know how much this represents, 10 feet? Maybe 20 feet, because that would be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 feet. I feel like that's still farther. Maybe it's 50, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. That's probably about 50 feet. So for the first 20 feet or so, 30 feet, it projects kind of wide, and then it goes out really tight to about, I'm guessing this is supposed to represent 250 feet, something like that. So I got the spot that projects really far, because again, when you're going 130, 140 miles an hour down a very narrow country road in the middle of the night, it can get a little dangerous if you can't see where you're going. So that's why I'm going to have these on the hood. The next bars that I'm going to get are probably going to be, I might go with a combo. See, they're going to go vertical on the sides of the bumper is what I'm thinking, like in the other pictures I showed you on the corners, and I'm trying to think of what I want to put down there. If any of you guys have done any stage rallying or performance driving, let me know what you think I should get down there in the comments. Give some good advice. That's all I really have to say about these good quality products. From the looks of it, I'll have to install them and see if it's really what I want. I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. They're going to make the car look good. Again, I'm never really going to be using them when I'm on the street. I'm really only going to use them at car meets and rallycross events and stuff like that, and stage rallying. But that's kind of a long way off. I've got to get some seats. I got to get a cage put in the car. I've got to get a rally suspension, which is hard to find for the Element. K-Sport makes some coilovers, but they lower the car by half an inch. It's kind of stepping backwards. The car's already a little low for stage rallying. I would have to see how much it would be to get Riger suspensions, to custom build a suspension for the car. You're probably looking at anywhere between $10,000 to $12,000. But that's, again, a long way off. I don't have any intention of spending that much money right away. Really, I bought these now because, one, they're going to make the car look a little bit more aggressive, and it's a step in the right direction if I do want to actually end up doing some stage rallying, which of course I do. I just have to see how much it would be to get this car in a place where it could actually be a good contender in amateur and road events. We'll start off local, but then I would definitely want to get into the nationals, because I have a feeling that it'd be very rewarding to travel and also do what you love at the same time. So, little unboxing and a glimpse into the future on what the future holds for my Element. Oh yes, and one complaint. I'm starting to put some of the brackets on so I can at least hold them up to the car and kind of see how they look. So I'm going to put the brackets, I'm going to mount them on. These don't come with instructions, so you can get them. Mine do not come with instructions, unless I'm missing them. Maybe they don't. These do not come with instructions, so you can get them. I ordered these off of carid.com. I'll put a link down below. You can get the instructions off CarID's website, and you can probably get them off Lumen's website. I'm looking at the PDF on my computer now, trying to figure out how to get these on, and I'm sure it's pretty self-explanatory. I've done all my own work on my own cars. Yes, they have instructions here. Okay. But just a small notice, these do not come with instructions, so if you're not very technically inclined, get them, please, off of the internet. You can search it up. Again, they don't come with instructions. I want to stress that, because, I mean, I did pay almost $200 for these. I kind of expected to get at least a little book. Like, put it this way, the instructions are 5 pages long. Like, the least I can do is use 10 pieces of paper on a $200 order and give me instructions. Small complaint there. Alright, so I'm back again. One thing you notice, these brackets here, I don't know if it's got a focus on it. Like, the paint is like chipped off on the corners. Not up here, but here, another little one here. So there's like 3 on just this one. On this one, it doesn't look as bad. Well, that's probably too soon. Here, there, big one there, a small scratch there. So, by no means perfect. But again, stage rallying. These are gonna look a lot worse. In fact, I might bedline these or something to try and prevent them from chipping as bad. Also, upon further inspection, these guys are exquisite. They're like shiny, they're black, they actually look painted. There's really no scratches on them. Like, this thing feels soft. It feels like a completely different part than the others. So maybe the other batch just has some defective mounts on it. No big deal. This, maybe it didn't get a clear coat, I'm thinking. But this looks a million times better. There's like no chips. It's actually pleasant to hold. So a little update on that. These are actually okay. What I'm looking at doing is putting them on the hood of this car. Probably, like I showed you in the pictures, you can have them in the middle here, or I might split them and put one on the corner here and one on the other corner there. I kind of like the middle because it does give you a concentrated beam and you don't have a gap really where there's no light in the middle. You might have a small one in between where the light bars are at, but it's not as bad, right? So probably just here and here. When I got them originally, I planned to kind of do this cool tilted thing here. The more pictures I looked at, the more that's really not a very good idea, because then you'll have like a gap and then also go out to the sides, unless you plan on putting one in the middle too. Which that's a little overkill. 1, 2, 3, that'll be a little too much, especially with these ones on the sides down here that I'm looking at getting. All right, so I'm gonna position these where I think they're gonna look best. We're not gonna put them on the car today, but I do wanna get a feel of how they're gonna look when they're actually installed on the car, and see if I need to order anything else, see if I need any more brackets, because before you do a project, it's always best to plan. So here we go. We're gonna grab one and we're just going to position it about there. Obviously this will need to be tilted up, but I'm actually gonna position this. I have a tape measure out here. I'm gonna position it about, I have to bend these, or I have to tilt this, so that way this looks the best it can. That might be, it's still pointed down a little bit. That's pointed about straight up and down. Now I'm gonna take a tape measure and measure this about 1 inch away from this ridge here. And then I do hear it squeaking against my paint, so I do have to be careful. It's gonna be easier if I go this way. So this is where this one's gonna go in terms of left and right. Now we gotta figure out forwards and back, right? Right there actually looks like a good place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some painter's tape and I'm gonna try taping it so it doesn't fall and scratch my paint. Because the last thing we want is paint damage on this beautiful hood. And now we have positioned, if you can see, this is where this light is gonna go. Is it straight? It actually is, for the most part. So that's where this one, we're actually going to put it. Now the wiring, I'm probably gonna cut a small hole back here and wire it down through here, attach it to the bottom of the hood, splice them together, and wire one lead to the battery, is what I'm thinking about doing. Otherwise, I could wire them separately and then wire them to the same switch. I'll have to see if this can take the load of 2 bars. These don't draw a lot of power, so I'm not too worried about it. But now we got to get the second bar on. So we're going to come over here and we're going to take the second bar and we're going to put this in roughly the same plane of existence as this. So I can tell right away there's a big gap here and we don't want that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move this in just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. Since there's 2 of these, the difference will be split. So if we actually take this off very gently and then move it in about like that. Now what we can go ahead and do is, if we're sure it's still straight, like that, I'll reattach this tape to make sure this doesn't go anywhere. Now I can measure this difference from here to here, and then apply that to this side, and they will both be centered in the hood of the car. So right away, this looks a lot better. You can tell this has been minimized quite a bit, and now you've got that, right? So now we're going to go ahead and tape these. Then we're going to get inside the car and see how much this blocks my sight. If it blocks it a little too much for my taste, we're just going to move them down the hood a little bit. That will naturally put these lower on the curve, and it won't really block your line of sight. And then you don't have to worry about, you know, getting pulled over because you've got something blocking your vision. All right, guys. So right away we have a small problem. As you can see, it's not so bad because where my eyes are, it goes just above. See, this is exactly what I see because I kind of got you at a POV level right now. This is a bit of a problem, but it's not horrible. I probably will move these about an inch or two down on the hood, and that should solve a lot of our problems. And then we'll still be able to have forward visibility while also being able to have light and see what's in front of us. All right, so as you can see, I have moved these towards the front very slightly. Now let's see how much this affects our visibility. So once again, you are from a POV type camera view. This is exactly what I see, a little bit better, and honestly, I could live with that. This really doesn't cover anything that I need to see because my windshield wipers pretty much do the same job. So this is probably what going to end up on the final car. Now we just would have to drill holes and wire and go from there, which is something I don't have time for today because I have to be heading off to work. Speaking of wiring, our switch position, let me get out here. I'm going to put the little switches, well, not the little ones, the big ones that we saw, the big toggles, probably in this area here. So that way they're available to me. I've got my traction control off and my cruise control. This, honestly, I won't be using on the track, obviously. Who knows? Maybe it'll make things easier, right? But I'm going to be putting the switches here. And then for the lower bars, there's going to be another one there. So there's going to be two of them. I'll probably print a little label and label one hood and then bumper. And then I'll just have that. Just very easy access. Hit it on off. And that's where our switches are going to go in the car. If there's nothing, this might pose a problem. If there's nothing immediately important in the way, you should be able to come to the back here and mount these. So guys, that's what the final product is more or less going to look like. I don't have the orange illuminated end caps on there right now. These are the red ones, but this is what it will look like. The one on the right is tilted down a little bit more than the other one, but this is going to be the final product for those. As you can see, about there and there on these corners is where I might look at mounting the other ones. My big challenge is going to be this part where it curves in, because I'm going to mount them vertically, and then I'd have to see how I would have to fabricate something to space it. Or I could just go off the side here and then put them out here. The problem is they stick out past the wheel, and it really makes the car wider. It probably wouldn't make it too much wider, because if I measure that and then bring it here, it would barely make it wider. If anything, it would be even with the tire. But again, just an idea. My other idea would be to get one with single bar the whole width of this inner area here and put it down there, and then I would have that. But no, I think it looks good. I'm pretty impressed with how it came out. These guys are going to provide a lot of illumination for me. Whether that be driving in the country at night with no one around. You know, I've done that before. It's very scary. Oh, you guys are crooked. Or stage rallying, which is something that I plan on doing with this vehicle in the near future, probably about 6 months to a year. So just basic stage rallying, maybe some rallycross to start with. You know, some amateur stuff that's not going to have all those jumps and landings and smasheroos that, you know, the normal stuff would have. We're going to put these on, and I also have hood pins that we're putting on here. I have them. Actually, that's a good thing to look at. It doesn't look like it will interfere with the placement of these, because the hood pins will actually go here, really right up here in this corner, in this area, somewhere around here, in this little area where this tape is at, probably. So that side and that side. They are they're not captive hood pins. The pins do come out, so you have to retain those. But they do have lanyards, which I'm actually looking at looping under here and attaching to underneath this grill here, and then the lanyard's going to come up and hook to that. So that way you don't lose your pin. You don't want that. And they don't get stolen too, which is another problem I've heard. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, get notified of when I upload. That's some future plans. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video.